market is Europe's largest platform for all TCGs. Always find the right cards by buying and selling them across Europe with other players and collectors. Be it singles, boosters, booster boxes, or any other accessories, you name it. Card Market is the place to get them safely, securely, and readily available.
What's going on, guys? This is Damien from The Lookout, and I'm here with my dear friend Marco from Germany, from Team Owl. He took 4th place on the Zenkai Cup with Blue Beerus Reboot. Hi Marco, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm fine.
So, guys, Marco, he played on our Zenkai Showdown, and now he played on Zenkai Cup, topping with Beerus. Amazing. Amazing, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. So take us through the deck.
Yes. I played the Beerus Reboot leader. He is on the front side, and when this card attacks, I can draw a card, or I can choose one of my opponent battle cards with 2 cost or less and KO it. That's a nice effect. When I need to draw a card, I can draw, or when I need to clear the board, I can clear a battle card with it. The Awaken is great. He awakes at 4 life or less, or as an alternative Awaken when I'm at 4 or more energy. I can draw a card, switch one to energy to active mode, and awake. The backside auto is almost the same as on the front side. I can choose on when I'm attack, I can choose to draw a card or KO a battle card with 3 or less. He has a permanent, which isn't that relevant. When my opponent is at 4 life or less, anytime this card would deal damage, I can choose to deal the damage or ramp a card from my drop into my energy and rest mode. But normally I want to end with turning the tide and a triple strike, and my opponent is never at 4 life or less to make this permanent happen.
Yeah.
A great activate main. I can pay 16 energy and I directly win the game.
Have you ever used it?
No, I wanted to use it once against a yellow Shenron, but I chose the safe route with turning the tide and the counter. But I was able to do it once on Sunday.
Nice.
So for the main deck, I play first 4-time the expansion pack with Destructions 8. In the early game, it's more just when this card is played, draw a card. But depends on the matchup. You can pay in your next turn when you're at 2 energy for his activate 2 energy for his activate main to put this card in your energy and rest mode. So, like I said, it depends on the matchup. Most of the time, I just comboed it in my opponent's turn to prevent damage, and ramped in turn 2 with my Z battle card with. But it's still an option to ramp with this old Wiz card too, especially in the late game when you have enough energy, when you have to spend energy to draw a card and do additional ramps. Then for the next 1-drop, it's 4 times Bardo's crewmate. Same as here with the Wiz. Normally I use it to just spend energy. When this card is played, draw a card. Beerus needs to see his key cards. The Majin Buu Unison, Another World, Blitz Goku, Turning the Tide, the counters. These cards are your win condition, and you need to play cards which draw cards from your deck to see your pieces. The Bogos has a nice effect versus the blue matchups. When my opponent switches the energy to active mode using a counter skill, he has to crit a life and place one of his energy into the drop. But same here, normally I just played him, draw a card, and comboed him away to charge my Z energy for my ramp with or other Z battle cards. Then the next, probably the best card of the deck, the Majin Buu Unison.
Yeah, phenomenal.
This unison is so important to stay alive until turn 7 or 8 when you are able to play Turning the Tide. He's a double strike blocker. Everyone knows this card. Plus -0, you can draw a card, and at the start of the opponent main phase, you get an energy back, and he's going back to active mode. And an incredibly strong auto, -1 when your opponent attacks with a battle card. You can -1 and just choose one of his battle cards and place it at the bottom of the deck. So if you need to, you can just prevent 2 attacks by blocking the first one and -1 for another battle card. Such a strong unison.
Insanely powerful unison.
Yeah. The unison comes normally in turn 3 when you're at 4 energy, because you ramped in your turn 2 with this or with the battle card. Your turn 4 play with 5 energy is most of the time Son Goku Another World Blitz. It's a bit yeah.
Yeah, that's the Ripko boss monster.
Yeah. He has many keywords: deflect, triple strike, barrier, blocker. It's such a strong card. An on-play effect: when you play this card, draw a card, and then you can choose X number of your opponent battle cards, depends on how many extra cards you have in the drop, and place them for each extra card in your drop. You can place the battle cards at the bottom of the Zoner's deck. At the end of the turn, you can switch this card to active and another energy to active mode. He comes for 4 when you don't have battle cards in the drop. When you have battle cards in the drop, he's 6 cost. But normally, most of the time, he comes for 4 energy. Then the second best card of the deck, or maybe it's better than the Blue Unison, and he became better with the Bun of God Sealing. The S is for Vegeta, Rise of the Super Warrior. He's a key card to ramp fast to 10, 12, 16 energy. When this card is played, you can look at top 4 cards. You have to reveal them, and you can choose any number of your mono blue cards and place them in your energy, in your hand, or the rest goes at the bottom of the deck. So you can choose to ramp 4 cards in your energy. You can, if you need hand cards, you can choose to pick all 4 cards and place them to your hand. When they are mono blue, everything else goes at the bottom of the deck. You can attack with him to clear the board, and at the end of the turn, this card goes to active mode, and in your opponent's turn, he says 30k blocker. It's a really strong card.
Crazy card. Yeah.
The
win condition. Yeah.
MVP of the day, Android 17 Turning the Tide. I won every game with Turning the Tide. It's such a powerful card. He comes for 7 energy. When this card is played, both players have to shuffle back their hand cards into the deck, and the battle cards from its opponent's drop are going back to the deck too. When he goes through, it's GG in 90% of the matches.
Yeah.
He's a 30k crit. Normally he comes when my opponent is at 4 life, maybe 5. So when he attacks, he crits my opponent, for example, from 4 to 3 life, and then you can finish with your triple strike. So it's when he can go through, it's
Each
GG.
game, yeah.
Here's a counter, the Jiren counter play. That's why normally I waited until I ramped to 12 energy. Most of the time I played Android Turning the Tide when I was at 12 energy to counter maybe the Jiren counter play. If the opponent hadn't got the 2 energy up, I played him earlier, but most of the time I needed to do the safe way to wait until I was at 12 energy. The next boss monster, only for Beerus deck, with Judge of the Gods. He comes for 12 energy. He's a quadruple strike, has a permanent that his this attack and skills cannot be negated. And when you play this card and your leader is a Beerus card, after your current turn ends, you just take another turn. You can draw a card, untap everything, and do your stuff again.
Yeah, insane card.
So this card is great when you're at 12 energy and your opponent is at maybe 5 life or more. You can just play with Judge of the Gods, take another turn, then play Turning the Tide with maybe a counter, and you can just crit from 5 to 4 and end with a quadruple strike. So again, it's when he comes into play, it's GG. You win the game.
Nice.
For the super combos, I have a 2-2 split with Vegeta, draw 2, bottom deck 1, and Zeno super combo. I played first 4 Vegetas because I thought I have to go fast through my deck to see my win conditions. But in practice, it wasn't really good because when you ramp in turn 2, you pay 2 energy to ramp with Wiz or with the Z Battle card Wiz. You add 3 energy but completely untap. Zeno is good because when you're at 5 life, you can just combo Zeno, take a card from your energy back to your hand, and put another card from your hand into the energy in active mode. And then you are able to negate attacks again. So I decided to play 2 Vegetas and 2 Zenos just to make sure I will survive after my first ramp. The next card is 2 times the Bardock Awakened Instinct Overrealm. He's just for 2 reasons. First reason is to clear your drop. When you got battle cards in your drop, your Another World Blitz comes for 6 energy. When you clear your drop first by playing an Overrealm, he comes for 4 energy again. The second is you can draw 2 cards and place 1 card in your drop, so you can just go through your deck and find your win conditions. Then I play 2 Sensu Beans. 2 Sensu Beans was completely enough. Sensu Bean is a little bit weaker due to its errata. It's nice to have because you can untap energy and get your leader to 20k, but I wouldn't play more than 2 Sensu Beans. 2 was enough. Sometimes I even charged the Sensu Bean because I needed my other negates and cards, and only played with 1 Sensu Bean the whole match. It was really enough at 2. I wouldn't play 1 or 0, but I wouldn't play 3 or 4 neither. 2 was
just
perfect.
Not as good as it used to be anymore. Yeah.
So for the negates, 3 group leader Pilaf,
That's a spicy one. That one is amazing.
It's a really old BT2 counter battle card attack. It works really well with the Blue Unison because you can counter a battle card attack. This card says counter battle card attack and play this card, and you can just negate a keyword skill of the attacking card. Normally you choose when the opponent attacks with a boss monster with barrier, you negate the battle card attack, negate the barrier keyword skill, and bottom deck is it with the Margin Blue Unison. That is 90% of the counters in which you use group leader Pilaf is negating barrier, bottom deck it with Boo. But it's still good when your Boo Unison is cleared, or you already use your -1, you can just negate any other keyword skills, triple strike, double strike, dual attack, whatever you need. It's a really good card in this deck. Of course, for Dimension Magic,
Of course, yeah.
Nothing much to say. Really good 1-drop counter attack. 2 times internal energy shift.
Okay.
I wasn't sure to play if I play 2 times internal energy shift or with coercion. This card is great because he negates the attack for 1 energy, and your opponent has to reveal the top card of the deck. If it's a battle card, you get your energy back to active mode, and you can switch up to 1 of your battle cards to active mode. So you play multiple blockers, and if you, for example, blocked with your Vegeta and negate the next attack with your internal energy shift, and it's a battle card, it was revealed, you get your energy back and your blocker. With coercion is the safer way. I have with coercion in the side deck. I sided internal energy shift out when I played versus decks with many extra cards or unisons, because it's you have to hit the battle card to get the whole effect. But it's a really good negate. 2 Protector of the People for aggro matchups. I was pretty lucky with my matchup, so I never used the discard effect to get the 5000 power for the turn each battle card attack. On Sunday I just used it for 1 negate the attack, and that was all. I can tell something to my matchups after the profile.
Awesome.
Pretty standard. 2 blocker negates. When you're at 5 or less, you can play it for free, get a blocker token. I have to put the cards here maybe because it's the light is...
Yeah, it's a bit, yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's better like this. Then for the next negate, 1 max power Kamehameha. I have 1 max power Kamehameha just to have a negate every time on the hand when I used it. Because when I negated the attack, I can warp 2 cards from my drop and put the card back to my hand. It's nice to clear your drop, to get the battle cards out of the drop, and you have a negate every time you need. Of course, 2 times Dirty Burst. You can negate the attack for 1, but most of the time you use the counterplay effect for 2. You can draw a card your opponent can't attack with energy cost 7 or more. I stopped 1 Cell Xeno and 1 Piccolo Gohan Secret Rare with Dirty Burst.
Nice.
It was great. 4 times Realm of the Gods, Beerus Destroys. Pretty standard too. Normally you use it in your opponent's turn to draw a card and bottom deck a battle card with 2 or less. But it's still a good card in your turn. Your leader gets the same 10,000 power as in your opponent's turn. And you can choose one of your opponent battle cards with greater than his current energy and bottom deck. Most of the time you use it to defend yourself, to prevent damage, and bottom deck battle cards from your opponent. But it's good the other way too. Then my only one counter ape.
Mm-hmm.
I have to. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
The baby golden avenger.
Mm-hmm.
99% you use it as a counter. But you can use it as a counterplay too. The battle card with 7 or less it's returned to its owner's hand instead of being played. Here's the on-play effect. When you play this card, draw 1 card and choose one of your opponent battle cards, ignoring barrier, and place it at the bottom of its owner's deck. He's a 30k triple strike in combination with Android 17 turning the tide. I already mentioned it. I played 2 times turning the tide, got counterplayed by Jiren and countered with Golden Avenger, and then I had another triple strike to finish the game. Secret rare of choice, it was Baby Hachiak. I wanted to play the Kaioken Goku secret rare, but I'm too afraid from Cunnings. The Cunning cards are hitting really hard when you play this secret rare. And Baby Hutch is just a solid choice to end the opponent's turn and get into your next turn. So I decided to play Baby Hutch this time.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, that was the main deck.
Mm-hmm.
It's 52 cards. I was really happy with these ratios. I wouldn't change anything at the moment. Then fast for the Z deck.
Mm-hmm.
Already told it. My second way to ramp, my preferred way to ramp is a new anniversary box Wiz. He comes for 2 energy in turn 2 and 1 Z energy. When you play this card, I can choose 1 mono blue card in my drop and place it in my energy in rest mode. It's great when you Z-charged super combo. You can pay 2 and the Z energy, super combo Z energy, place it in a drop and ramp it in your energy, and then you can pick the super combo back with your Zeno super combo. If you do this, you can use 4 to 6 super combos in a match when you pick them with your Zeno super combos.
Nice.
So it's really great.
It's same card.
2 times Beerus, Area Annihilator, a strong BT19 Z battle card for blue. He's a 10k barrier. When this card attacks, I can choose a battle card greater than the current energy of my opponent and place it at the bottom of its deck. And this card gets plus 5,000 power for the turn. In combination with the activate main, which says for 2 energy, and when your opponent has 3 or more energy, you can switch this card to active mode and choose one of your opponent battle cards, ignoring barrier, and place it at the bottom of its owner's deck, and this card gains dual attack. So this card is basically a triple attack, which is on the first attack 15k, then 20k, then 25k. Perfect to clear the enemy's board. When he has cards greater than their current energy, they go directly to the bottom of the deck, and then you can just attack the other cards on the board and clear the board with Beerus. 1 Cell Awakening of the Created. I never played it on Sunday, but it's still a really good Z battle card for
It's
decks which are spamming a lot of battle cards. He's a 25k crit. When this card is played, you can choose all of your opponent battle cards with energy cost 5 or less and place it under this card. And for the activate main, you can, if you you can put the cards which are absorbed, put them back into the owner's drop. And if you place 1 or more cards, this card goes to active mode. And if you place 4 or more cards, this card gains additionally triple strike. So in the worst case, it's a dual attack, 25k dual attack crit, and your opponent's board is cleared. In the best case, it's a 25k crit and a 25k triple strike crit. Great card. One you should definitely run one every time, maybe more if you have the space. And for the last card, Son Goku's Stronger Together. I just put it in the Z deck for the SS4 GT Gogeta GT matchup. This card says when you play this card and your opponent has 11 or more cards in their hand, they place cards from their hand into the drop until at the bottom of the deck, until they have only 10 cards in their hand left. So SS4 has an average maybe 14 to 17 cards in hand, and you can stop the deck, the drop power with Son Goku Stronger Together. But I avoided red the whole day, so there was no need for Son Goku the battle card. And the last side deck. One additional copy of Golden Avenger for the blue matchups and yellow, because there are too many counters, and I just need to make sure to be able to counter when I need it, especially in the blue and the yellow matchup. 2 Kale for ignoring barrier bot clear, and another finisher. He's a double strike dual attack when I'm at 7 energy. She comes for 5, is then a deflect barrier double strike dual attack, and clears the whole board ignoring barrier. 2 times the black smoke, really good card from BT19. You can choose when you play out of 3 effects. The first effect is you can burst 3 cards from your deck, and if there are a total of 7 or more cards in both drop areas, you can draw a card. So it's basically a draw ape in better. The next effect is you can choose one of your opponent battle cards with energy cost 7 or less, ignoring barrier, and warp it. Great to remove big barrier threats. And the third effect, which is really strong, especially against decks which depends on their unisons, you can choose one of your opponent unisons with a specified cost of 2 or less and 7 of your markers, and just send it directly to the warp.
Yeah.
You don't have to attack his unison to keep it low. You can just wait 2 or 3 turns until he has near 7 markers, just play black smoke, and his unison is gone. It's incredibly strong.
Yeah, super scary.
Yeah, it's the game is different now with black smoke running around. 2 Son Goku Protects of the Earth. Never played sided it on Sunday, but it's still a good unison. Here's first an on-play auto. When you play this card during the opponent's next turn, they can't attack with battle cards unless they choose one of their battle cards with energy cost of 2 or more and place it at the bottom of its deck. So it stops aggro decks by being that aggro, because they have to every time bottom deck a battle card with 2 or more, cost 2 or more. His -1 is really good. Draw 1 card, choose a card in your hand and place it at the bottom of the deck. You can just go through your deck very fast. And the -2 in combination with Turning the Tide is perfect. Choose all of your opponent battle cards, ignoring barrier, return them to the owner's hand. So if your opponent is, for example, a Trunks Jita, which has 2 or 3 barrier blocker, you can just gives them Ignorant Barrier back to their hand, and then play Turning the Tide to
Take them away.
to take them away. Yes. So never sided it in on Sunday, but still a good deck in this card in the side deck. One additional copy of Dirty Burst. I thought I would play against SS4s. It would be a great side card for SS4 GT for the big Gogeta, but never used it. The third copy. 2 with Coercion. As I mentioned before, I sided out the internal energy shift for with Coercion when I played versus decks with many extra cards or unison cards where I wasn't sure to hit the battle card when I need it. 2 Kami, never sided in. I thought that more people would have the dash pack cards, and I thought that I will get more Trunks Jitas, and that's why I put it in the side deck, because it's a great card versus Trunks Jita. You can pay 2 energy, and if your opponent has 4 more battle cards in play, you can choose all of your and your opponent battle cards with cost 4 or less, Ignorant Barrier, and KO them. So the whole board of Trunks Vegeta is gone.
Yeah.
Against hand destruction, I know there isn't much hand destruction at the moment, but hand destruction and aggro is killing the Beerus deck. That's why I went the safe way, put 2 double Riddle at hand in case I'm getting an opponent with hand destruction. And last but not least, Jiren, Survival of the Fittest counterplay. I don't think you need it to side in when you play a ramp deck, but I feel safe when I have it in the side deck. When your opponent ramps faster, when you don't see your Vegeta ramp card and your opponent sees it, and you don't want to get the Android Turning the Tide into your face. That's why I side every time 1 copy of Jiren. I'm in every deck I play. It's a good card. I feel safe when it's just there. Never sided in.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. So, what decks did you play against?
First round I played against Yellow Shinron. It's a really slow match. Beerus loves slow matchups. I had 0 problems versus Yellow Sin. Just did my game, ramped until 12 energy, played Turning the Tide and won. So pretty easy. In round 2, my opponent didn't show up. I don't know if he had internet problems or no time anymore, but it was a free win. Round 3 was the hardest matchup. It's my only loss to Michael's black Son Goku Xeno deck. It was too aggressive while spending only 0 energy. And he just stomped me in his turn 3 or 4 maybe. I couldn't stand the aggro matchup. He just destroyed me.
Yeah.
Round 3 was against SS3 Goku Reboot. It's a slow matchup too. That's all you want. He's stalling, you are stalling. He can't play Turning the Tide. You can play Turning the Tide and win the game.
Yeah.
Then, big surprise was Trunks' future starter deck. I was really surprised of this aggression of the deck. He played the Piccolo SH cards of BT19. It was really aggressive and untapped 1 or 2 energy after his turn every time. So it was a really close matchup, but I could win it with Turning the Tide again. And the last matchup was against Golden Freezer. It was easy.
Yeah, it's
Um,
yellow
I
versus this deck.
I haven't attacked his leader until around 7 or 8. I left him at 7 life. He couldn't awake. He couldn't get his draw power. And then finished him again with turning the tide and the counter. It was a hard matchup a few turns before because he counterplayed my Ramp Vegeta first with Cold Bloodlust, and then the turn after with Death Blaster. That's why it was a longer game. I guess it was turn 8 or 9 when I was at 12 energy to play my win con.
Nice.
Yes. All in all, it was 5 wins and 1 lose to Michael's black deck.
Nice. Congratulations. Before we wrap up the video, do you have any shoutouts?
Yeah, shoutouts, of course, to my team Universe OVL, which are training very much. And I don't know if he will see this video. A shout out to Diogo. He topped with Beerus at the Nationals in Netherlands. I think you did the profile with him. I wrote him after the event on Facebook, and he took the time and gave me tips to improve my playstyle, to improve the deck. It's a little bit different list, but I was inspired by Diego's Beerus deck. That's why I played it on Sunday. So shout out, thank you for the tips, for the time you took.
Nice. And thank you for doing this deck profile with us. Once more, congratulations. And guys, this has been Damien from The Lookout, and I'll see all of you in the next video.